Going to be great, I think.
Yes.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the home stretch. I'm Nina Soden with the Soden team here in North Alabama, your go to realtor for all things real estate, and as always, your favorite coffee fueled house hunter.
And I'm Kat Frisby with Victorian Finance, your mortgage matchmaker and your calm in the storm when it comes to loan paperwork, deadlines, and yes, the closing day jitters.
Before we dive in, a quick reminder. While Kat is a licensed mortgage lender and I am a licensed realtor, this podcast is just for educational and entertainment purposes. Always consult with your real estate agent, your lender, and sometimes even your attorney to get personalized advice for your transaction.
Okay, now let's talk about it. Closing day, the big finish, the grand finale, the day you finally get the keys to your new home.
It is the moment everyone waits for. But it's also the one day where a whole lot can happen in a short amount of time. So today we are breaking it down. What really happens on closing day and how you can be ready for it.
Let's start with the basics. Nina, what is closing day?
Okay, closing day is when all of the legal paperwork is signed. Money changes hands and ownership of the property officially transfers from the seller to the buyer. It's basically the finish line for the entire transaction.
But like any big milestone, it comes with details, signatures, and sometimes a few curveballs. So let's go over what buyers should expect.
First is the logistics. Your closing appointment is usually held at a title company or closing attorney's office. They'll walk you through all the paperwork and make sure everything is done legally and correctly.
And I know it sounds intimidating, but you don't have to read every single line on your own.
No.
The closer will explain the key documents, the promissory note, deed of trust, closing disclosure, and you'll have a chance to ask as many questions as you need.
And yes, bring your photo ID. In fact, bring two forms of ID just in case, because some closing attorneys and title companies do require a backup.
Also, bring your funds to close. You'll usually wire the money to the closing company in advance, but never, ever, ever wire funds without verifying the instructions directly by phone. Wire fraud is real, y'all.
It's real and it's scary. So if you're not sure how much you need to bring, your lender and your realtor should give you a closing disclosure or a final settlement document before your appointment so you can review it and prepare.
Yeah, and ideally, that closing disclosure should be in your hands at least 3 days before you sign. If you have questions about the numbers, ask your lender. This is not the time just is not and sign.
Now let's talk about timing. Closing typically takes about an hour, maybe more if you have a lot of questions, if you're a first time home buyer, or if there are delays. And maybe a little shorter, say if you're buying with cash.
And that brings us to the big myth. You don't get the keys the very second you sign the papers.
Okay, wait. Say that one more time for the people in the back that didn't hear you.
You do not get the keys just because you signed. We have to wait for the transaction to fund and record, meaning the lender releases the money and the title is officially updated. Sometimes that's same day, but sometimes it takes until the next business day.
So plan accordingly. Don't schedule your movers for the night or for right after your appointment. Give yourself a little buffer. It is better to have flexibility than to be sitting in the moving truck with absolutely nowhere to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And if you're closing at the end of the month, heads up. Title companies and lenders are so slammed. The funding process can take longer, so be patient and communicate with your team.
Now, let's talk about the final walkthrough. The final walkthrough usually happens the day before or the morning of closing day. You're checking to make sure that the property is in the same condition it was in when you went under contract. No major damage, no missing appliances, no flooded basement. If repairs were requested and agreed to throughout the negotiation process, then you're also looking to make sure those repairs were actually completed.
And if something is wrong at that walkthrough, speak up before you sign. Once those papers are done, it's a lot harder to resolve.
Another heads up, don't forget to transfer utilities into your name, effective on the closing day. That's on you as the buyer, not on the seller.
And last but not least, be ready to celebrate. This is a huge milestone. It's the end of one chapter and the start of a new one.
Okay, let's recap what to expect on closing day. Show up on time with valid ID or two. Bring your wired funds or proof of wire. Review and understand your closing disclosure. Be prepared to wait for funding before you get the keys. Do your final walkthrough beforehand. Transfer your utilities and take a minute to celebrate your new home.
And remember, we're here to guide you through every step of the way. You don't have to figure it out all on your own.
Exactly. All right, friends, that is a wrap on episode 8. If you're buying or selling in North Alabama, you know where to find me.
And if you've got mortgage questions, credit concerns, or just need to talk through your next steps, reach out. We'd love to help.
Next week, we are breaking down exactly how to improve your credit score before buying a home. Practical tips, real talk, and no fluff. You won't want to miss it.
Until then, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, thumbs up, and tell a friend about the home stretch.
See you next time.
Bye, friends.